Welcome back to the Funeral Channel Network. I'm John, here with my co-host Kelly. Today we're talking about some of the biggest funeral and memorial scams grieving families need to watch for, how these scams work, and the simple steps that can help protect you and your family. Imagine losing someone you love. You're planning the funeral, answering phone calls, trying to write an obituary, contacting family members, and making decisions you probably never expected to make. Your emotions are already all over the place, and then your phone rings. The person on the other end says they're calling from the funeral home and they seem to know exactly who you are and who passed away.
And that's what makes this kind of scam so dangerous. The caller may know the name of the person who died, the funeral home you're working with, and possibly even details about the service. Then they tell you there's a problem with the account and that another payment needs to be made immediately or the funeral could be delayed or canceled. In that moment, a grieving family member may not even think to question it.
That's why we want to say this very clearly right at the beginning. Stop. Before you make a payment, give anyone your personal information or follow instructions from an unexpected caller. Stop and verify who you're actually dealing with, because the person on the phone may not be from the funeral home at all.
That's so crazy. Scammers just never cease to amaze me, John.
Right. Let's start with one of the most disturbing funeral scams, the fake funeral home call. What makes this one so convincing is that the scammer may already have information about the death. They may know the deceased person's name, the funeral home handling the arrangements, the service date, or even the names of family members.
And when somebody knows that much, it's natural to think they must be legitimate. But a lot of that information may already be public. An obituary, funeral announcement, church notice, or social media post can reveal far more than most families realize. A scammer can collect those details and use them to make a completely fraudulent phone call sound very real.
Then comes the pressure. The caller might say, "There's still a balance due," or "You need to make this payment today." In some cases, they may even claim that the service cannot continue or that arrangements will be canceled unless the family pays immediately. That kind of threat is designed to trigger panic.
And urgency is one of the biggest warning signs. If somebody unexpectedly calls demanding a funeral payment, do not make the payment during that call. Hang up, find the funeral home's official phone number yourself, and call them directly. Don't simply call back the number the person gave you, and don't assume caller ID proves the call is legitimate.
Ask the funeral home one simple question. Is there actually an outstanding balance on our account? That brief verification could prevent a grieving family from losing hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
Another scam families need to watch for involves fake memorial fundraisers. Fundraising after a death is very common, especially when families are dealing with funeral expenses, medical bills, or charitable donations. That unfortunately gives scammers another opportunity to take advantage of people who genuinely want to help.
A scammer may create a fundraising page using the deceased person's photograph, correct name, and details copied from an obituary or social media page. The story can sound completely believable. And because everything looks familiar, friends and relatives may assume the fundraiser was created by the family.
But the family may know absolutely nothing about it. Before donating, try to verify the fundraiser with someone close to the family. If the obituary requests donations to an established charity, it may be safer to go directly to that organization's official website instead of clicking a link from an unexpected email, text, or social media post.
The important thing to remember is that accurate information does not automatically mean a page is legitimate. A scammer can copy names, photographs, and funeral details without ever speaking to the family. Another major warning sign is the way someone asks you to pay. If a caller suddenly demands gift cards, cryptocurrency, a wire transfer, or another payment method that is difficult to reverse, that should immediately make you suspicious.
Think about how unusual that would be. A legitimate funeral home should be able to explain what you owe, provide an invoice, and accept established forms of payment. If somebody says, "Go buy $2,000 in gift cards and read the numbers to me over the phone," you should not continue that conversation.
Scammers often combine unusual payment methods with extreme urgency. They may say you only have an hour, that the funeral could be delayed, or that the account will be closed if you don't act immediately. The goal is to make you react before you have time to think.
So, when someone creates an emergency and demands money at the same time, slow everything down. Their deadline does not automatically have to become your emergency. A legitimate business should be willing to let you verify the request before sending money. Fake memorial websites and social media pages can be especially convincing because they can look almost identical to something a family might create. Scammers can copy photographs, obituary information, funeral details, and personal stories that are already publicly available online.
Then they add a donation button or payment link. Because the photographs are familiar and the information is accurate, people assume the page belongs to the family. That's why you should look closely at who is actually receiving the money before donating.
And don't assume something is legitimate simply because someone you know shared it on Facebook or another social platform. Your friend or relative may honestly believe the page is real too. Once one person shares something, others may share it without verifying it, and suddenly a fraudulent page can appear very credible.
If something feels questionable, contact the family directly. A quick message asking whether they created or approved the page can prevent money from going to the wrong person. Not every funeral scam begins with somebody asking for money. Sometimes what the scammer really wants is information. They may ask for your address, date of birth, banking information, social security number, or other sensitive details.
And once again, they may use the death to make the request sound legitimate. They might say, we need to update the funeral account, or we need this information to process a refund. Because the caller may already know certain details about your loved one, the request can seem believable.
But knowing information about the deceased does not prove that the caller represents the funeral home, insurance company, bank, or government agency they claim to represent. Never provide sensitive information simply because someone contacting you sounds informed.
Instead, end the conversation and contact the organization yourself, using a phone number or website you independently verify. If they truly need information from you, they can explain exactly what they need and why through an official channel. One thing we want to emphasize is that falling for one of these scams does not necessarily mean someone was careless. Think about what a family may be going through immediately after a death. They may be sleeping poorly, making dozens of decisions, receiving phone calls from unfamiliar people, and trying to handle financial and emotional responsibilities at the same time.
And many unfamiliar calls after a death really are legitimate. The funeral home may call, the cemetery may call, an insurance company may contact the family. A florist, church, or other business involved in the arrangements may also reach out. So another unfamiliar caller may not immediately seem suspicious.
That creates the perfect environment for a scammer. Grief creates urgency, and scammers create urgency too. When those two things collide, people may make decisions they would normally stop and question.
So let's make this easy to remember. First, never allow someone to pressure you into making an unexpected immediate payment. If the request is legitimate, you should have time to verify it.
Second, verify unexpected funeral-related calls directly with the funeral home. Use a phone number you already know or independently locate instead of relying on the number provided by the caller.
Third, be extremely suspicious of anyone who unexpectedly demands gift cards, cryptocurrency, wire transfers, or another unusual payment method. Those methods are often difficult to reverse once the money is gone.
Fourth, verify memorial fundraisers before donating. And fifth, protect your personal and financial information. Never give out sensitive information simply because someone appears to know details about the death. If there is one word we want you to remember from this entire conversation, it's stop. If somebody suddenly asks you for money after a death, stop before paying. If somebody wants personal information, stop before answering. If a fundraiser appears unexpectedly online, stop before clicking the donation button.
You do not have to solve everything in the moment. Hang up the phone, talk to another family member, call the funeral home, research the organization, or verify the fundraiser. Taking a few minutes to check something is not being difficult. It is protecting yourself and your family.
And a legitimate funeral home, charity, or business should not be afraid of reasonable verification. In fact, they should understand why a grieving family might want to confirm something before sending money or sharing sensitive information.
If you know someone who has recently lost a loved one, consider sharing this video with them. They may already have enough on their plate without having to worry about whether every phone call, fundraiser, or payment request is legitimate.
One warning before the phone call arrives could save someone from losing money or giving away personal information during one of the most difficult moments of their life. Awareness can make a real difference.
That about wraps up this discussion on a very interesting topic I think we all should know. Don't forget to subscribe for more practical information about funerals, memorials, cremation, grief, and helping families navigate what happens before, during, and after a loss.
And remember, when grief tells you, "I don't have time to think," that may be exactly when you need to slow down, verify what you're being told, and protect yourself and your family. See you again next time here at the Funeral Channel Network.